It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be mine? Cause it's Smackdown time. Ladies and gentlemen, what it do, what it is. It is back. We back now. We back. Finally we back. It is the Smackdown review show, the quickest rising popular show on UPR. And I'm sorry for all the other shows, but the facts are the facts.
The
Me,
facts
me
are
and Vic, we got this thing on the road right now. We got this thing on the road right now. I know some other shows think they got it, but nah, you ain't got it. So it's your boys, Vic. The Z is Silent. In other words, I would just like to say,
welcome to the Smackdown Penitentiary.
Yeah, because y'all on lockdown right now.
Nice.
Y'all on lockdown right now.
Oh, I like
Lockdown. We had a really good Friday night show. A lot of people didn't like it because Rock wasn't there, Roman wasn't there. It didn't matter. They really didn't need him there. I mean, it was still a fire show. You still had to build up the rest of the SmackDown card, and I think we're fleshing it out really, really well. We got the Jade Cargill sighting.
Yeah, definitely.
We got a little bit more clarity with the Final Testament as well. So you know what? And I'm not.
Yeah, they finally.
Yeah, I'm not too mad about it actually, because it actually made me a little bit more intrigued for the rest of the card, all in total. So I'm not mad about it at all. But let me go ahead and get this up here so we can go get into this real quick because we had a fire show. So we starting off with Jade Cargill getting introduced, finally signing her SmackDown contract, and she looks like money coming out there, boy. That red, I don't even know what it was. It was a red bodysuit, a bikini. I don't even know what you would call it. A leotard. Was that what it is? I think that was a leotard, a straight leotard. But nonetheless, she comes out there. She's looking scrum-diddly yumptious, and we alluded to this last week. We said it. We said it last week that if her signing was going to happen that week, that it wouldn't be just a one-off thing. And later on that night, that came to be true. So, your thoughts on her being featured first, right? And a lot of people were comparing it to Mercedes Moné being debuted on AEW. Did you get that feel on SmackDown last night?
Yeah, but that isn't a bad thing. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. But then at the same time, I feel like you comparing apples to oranges because Sasha Banks' career far goes. You know what I mean? Like as far as like being in the ring, I don't think I wouldn't put them at the same level. As far as Jade Cargill, the hype, and because we know what she's done. I'll say it again. It's a testament to AEW because AEW is the only reason we know who she is. So
right.
Everybody's hype about her, and now they do. They're giving her the push because she's money, bro. Like at the end of the day, like can't, you know what I mean? So I'm happy to see, what happens, what they do with her, where that match gets placed in the card and all of that. But yeah, I think it was a great way to open the show because, everybody else needs to get shine. It can't just be all about the Rock and Roman. So that was, I think that was genius. Plus, everybody's been waiting to see what the hell's going on with Jade Cargill anyway. So like,
I like that last statement you said. Not everybody can do that. And that statement. So I think the biggest problem that I think that most wrestling fans have is the fact that they don't understand that everybody can't be the top person all the time. right? It's literally not everybody can be the star quarterback for their entire time. And if it does happen, it's very rare. Not every. I mean, Tom Brady wasn't even always the star. He came off the bench and he was the last draft pick. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't. Kobe Bryant didn't come out starting. In rare cases, we got LeBron coming out starting, right? But like in cases that not. I don't think there's been a wrestling star that is from start to finish just came in hot, stayed hot, ended hot. It just doesn't happen. So I think fans need to get they need to simmer down a little bit. Let things progress. You didn't start your job being the top person at your job. You had to start somewhere. You had to train somewhere. You had to get experience somewhere. And sometimes us as wrestling fans don't take that into notion because we get everything. Everything is fast forward to us now. Everything is super fast forward to us. We got access to everything via social media and technology. So I get the instant validation, but sometimes it's just not needed. Moving along for the show, we get Pretty Deadly versus RKO versus Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Honestly, I didn't know where this match was going. Based off of the actions from last week, but I will say that the pairing of Orton with other singles stars, it was kind of iffy to me, right? But like Orton really does fare very well with other stars, but I think that's a testament to him being a veteran, right? But this match
I
barely.
mean, he's like the Chris Jericho, you know.
That's a good analysis. That's a good comparison. I like that. The Chris Jericho of WWE if he were AEW. So I like that.
Yeah, bro.
The
You know what I mean? Like he's all. I respect him because he's all about putting other people over. He doesn't need a strap. He's got enough hype. He's got a loyal fan base. Um, the same thing with Kevin Owens. I feel like all of these guys, they're going all hands on deck to put over Pretty Deadly. Because the thing is that their gimmick is a little weird, but these guys can wrestle.
Yeah,
they're good. They're definitely, you know what I mean. And then the same thing with Logan Paul. Even though they don't necessarily mean much, but then the other thing, I think they just do what they got to do to be part of the card. Because they're not. I mean, the story is interesting, but for how long is Kevin Owens really going to be fighting Logan Paul?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So when it comes to Randy, I honestly think that he's just still happy that he can go. Considering all of the injuries and all of that stuff, and he's having a good time. So as far as him, just teaming with people. It goes great, and the other thing is just that and the other thing is that like his move can fit in with so many other moves. You know what I mean? Like, especially this thing that he does with Kevin Owens is awesome. The whole stunner thing. I mean, I would love to see it with Stone Cold or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, bro, he's having his moment. Surely, much better than his father's.
Yeah. So I got a real quick. I got to say to everyone. Now everybody's feeling it. Now everybody's feeling it. That's the numbers I like to see at the top of my screen. Welcome everybody. I see y'all trickling in. Y'all trickling in. So if you don't know, now you know the fastest rising show on UPR right now. Ladies and gentlemen,
welcome to the Smackdown Penitentiary.
Welcome, because we're here for it. We're here for all the smoke. We giving it to you every way you want it. No diddy though. But moving back into this tag match, right? We got to see Logan Paul making a difference and helping Pretty Deadly get that W. But then Randy Orton is chasing Randy Orton and Kevin Owens chasing Logan Paul. He steals somebody's car and he is out. Dipset, he's gone. Like literally out.
Wait, that
This
was
is great
his
for
car?
Logan Paul. Huh? That
He
wasn't
got
his
the
car.
money for that.
That was his car.
That wasn't his. He got the money for it. I'm gonna be surprised. I'm surprised that car doesn't have Prime all over it.
Hello, Charmaine. Hello, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Charmaine, let me ask you, because every single show I see you in, you hate Logan Paul. Have you not tried Prime? They're delicious. What is your problem? Logan Paul is a genius, and Prime is delicious. How do you hate this man? I'm pretty sure your daughter probably loves Logan Paul. She watches YouTube. Or maybe you brainwashed her.
I still have yet to try that Prime, and it's everywhere.
Oh,
I gotta
man,
try
it's
that
so
shit.
good. It's so good. Charmaine, you don't like Pretty Deadly. Who do you like? Who do you like at this point? I don't know. We appreciate you on UPR. We love you so much. Thank you for stopping by every show. Gee, yeah, ask him where he asked the crowd where's Logan. He found him on the ring. Yeah, because he tried to go on the other side of the ring. Like, that was funny. That was funny. I definitely got that. I really like that. I think this is definitely the most fun that Randy's having in his career, and you can kind of credit that to. I think you can credit that to Riddle. I think Riddle definitely opened up a second side of
Facts.
Randy's career that he didn't think that he had, and now that he's unlocked that code, like, he definitely, I can tell that he enjoys it. And then
shout out to Riddle too, man. Stallion, bro.
Riddle doing
Riddle,
some things
bro.
on the Indies.
Man,
He's a champion. He's MLW champion or something
yeah,
like that.
Man. I'm telling you. A New Japan champion. He's got a New Japan.
I mean, how can you love Prime?
He's got a New Japan.
How can you love Prime and you hate Logan Paul? I don't understand the hypocrisy. Moving along in the match, in the night, we get something that you and I were looking forward to last week, and we talked about it, and we said that there was no way, absolutely no way, that you can have a WrestleMania and not have the Street Profits on there, especially with what they've been doing lately. And
Facts.
we were wrong. We were wrong.
Yo, for
because
real,
because this is, anybody that looks at that graphic and sees that, it's no way that A-Town Down Under should ever beat the Street Profits. But Bobby Lashley and B-Fab promised the Street Profits some champagne if they won, but it did not come to the ring with them. And looking at the match, the Profits were in control of it for sure. They were in control of it. But then Karrion Kross is on the screen. He gives a distraction, and Theory and Waller they stole a win, and now they've got one of the final spots to go to WrestleMania. And as a huge Bobby Lashley fan, this is pissing me off.
Well, I mean, it might be one of two things, right?
Me off. This shot, I mean, I'm not going to lie, though, as much as it pissed me off, it actually was a good thing for the Final Testament. This is the strongest that the Final Testament has looked.
Yeah.
And I absolutely, while I hate it because it happened to Bobby Lashley, I loved it for what it can bring out of Bobby Lashley, because the WWE digital exclusive, we saw Bobby Lashley backstage basically thanking Karrion Kross in the Final Testament for waking him up. And he's tired of shaking hands and kissing babies and all that goofy stuff that he's been doing to the ring. And it seems like they're pulling the aggression out of Bobby Lashley. So we got one more SmackDown before Mania. And is it one more? Two more SmackDowns. One more SmackDown.
Before one more SmackDown. Raw is in Brooklyn, and then SmackDown in Philly.
Yeah, so
I
I'm
mean, the
very
SmackDown
curious.
before.
What you thought?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I'm
You're
very
curious?
curious to what they do, how they turn Bobby Lashley, because even backstage, Karrion Cross was basically teasing them. It was like, "You're not going to Mania. They're not going to Mania. We're not going to Mania. Nobody's going to Mania. That's what y'all get." Like, basically, just rubbing it in their face. So I actually thought I thought it was genius, because he's basically saying what every one of us week after week have been saying. What the hell is up with Bobby Lashley? Why is he not going to be on the card? Where did they go with him? Right? And I just think that this was a great part. Now, how they follow up with the aggressive Bobby Lashley remains to be seen. I don't see how they can do it. I don't see how they can make me care about him being on the card,
Mm-hmm.
although he is one of my favorites to watch on a weekly basis. It still is, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's I don't know if they sneak this on to a pre-show. I would think that that's disrespectful to Bobby Lashley. I mean, he went from
I
facing
mean,
McIntyre and setting off
he,
WrestleMania. Then the next year he went he faced Omos and beat Omos streak. And then he won the battle royal, the Andre the Giant battle royal, and didn't even compete in WrestleMania. And now he doesn't look like he's going to compete in WrestleMania again. I just think that you guys are just doing Bobby Lashley wrong. Next Friday is the
well,
Hall of Fame.
I
And
don't
what
know, man.
some
I
people
think
say,
that
underwhelming Hall of Fame.
no, because look, here's the thing about SmackDown. Here's the thing about next week's SmackDown. I think that this is foreshadowing either post Mania or they're gonna do Smack Mania. And what do I mean by that? The SmackDown and Raw that are basically the parentheses of WrestleMania,
Mhm.
they're now a part of WrestleMania. They're always at a venue close to WrestleMania. The crowd starts to show up on the day before this SmackDown shows up anyway. So now my point in saying all of this is that it's part of the show. This SmackDown is very important. So I have a feeling that this is where they're going to be part of WrestleMania, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The way that they get on the card is by being on the SmackDown prior to the card, because the SmackDown is part of the card at this point. Look, the Hall of Fame is right after. Come on now. They had to
Yeah.
figure out a way to fit it. So instead of making it another show, then they just put it right after SmackDown. Shoot, I remember when Mania 35 was here, and Hall of Fame was a separate show. So
Right.
all that changed, and now I got a feeling that these guys that's where it's gonna be. Because look, they literally just put another 3-on-3 match to the card, because this is gonna be a big card, bro. Look how they're starting at 7 o'clock. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
gonna be big. They're never gonna make the mistake that they made at WrestleMania 35 again, right? Because WrestleMania 35 was just ridiculousness. But yeah, it's gonna be a big card, bro. It's 40. It's gonna be exciting, and I think that that's how these guys get in, and they look good. And Bobby Lashley is a former ECW champion. He's done so much. I feel like sometimes it's hard to figure out what to do with him at this point. And he's helping a lot of
It,
people, bro. The Street Profits, AOP, Karrion Cross. Like, I'm telling you, bro, he's Mother Teresa to these people right now.
and that's a testament. And a lot of people, I think that that's something that most fans don't understand. That sometimes it's not
Nah,
always
you gotta be
about
old for that.
getting the W. You have to be able to give back. There was always some give and take, right? Like, I think one of the best examples is nobody can sell a nobody can sell a Stone Cold Stunner like TheRock, right? And for what is
Facts.
arguably one of the greatest, what is one of the greatest rivalries of all time, right? Rock is as big as Rock is, he is still 1-2 versus Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania. But a random Monday Night Raw, he has the up on him. A random
Yeah,
SummerSlam, he has
but
the
wait a
up on
minute.
him.
Wait a minute. But wait a minute. Look at that. Nobody sold a sharpshooter like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He still print T-shirts.
Oh no, with the blood dripping down his face. No, that was
These
great.
guys are good at their
That
craft.
was great, but
Yeah, bro.
But I mean, to
and
get
going, that was amazing.
And so, and I get what Mike's saying. This is not a Mania match, right? It doesn't look so. It looks like there's seven matches on one card, 6 on the other. That's what has been floating around. We don't know. WWE still has not said anything, so we're not going to take anything that dirt sheets have. And while I'm at it, I am on a roll. Fuck Dave Meltzer. We don't give a good dog damn about you. And your lies, your vicious lies. We ain't got no time for that shit. Now let's move on to I think we're about halfway through SmackDown, right? And we get a promo from EO Sky, which is obviously it was pre-recorded, and something that they did in the week.
Yeah, I love that.
And
they do such a good job doing that with Shinsuke, and I love it when they do that with her.
Mm-hmm. Listen, because this actually, it sucks that it's 2 weeks. It's 2 SmackDowns from Mania, and now you're actually giving EO this character that you should have been giving her as soon as you gave Shinsuke the subtitles at the bottom. Let them speak in their native tongue, and we can, and that is fine with me, because even if they speak so much, they speak so fluent in their native tongue, right? WWE can spin it however they want to with the captions, and they can now make us care about what EO is saying, right? Like EO doesn't have the mannerisms while she's talking like a Asuka, right? We don't know what Asuka's saying half the time, but based off of the way that she projects it out, her body language, the way she's moving, you could probably think she said, "Bitch, you stinker." You know what I'm saying? Like she said something offensive, and she meant that shit, right? And EO basically says that Bailey used Dakota and EO because she was, coming off of an injury. She was in a lost place in her career, and then said that she basically used Damage Control, and then wanted to take the credit for Damage Control's success, in which Damage Control is successful because of Bailey. So she wasn't technically lying there. Like Bailey wasn't lying for that, but EO, I get it. EO being on the other side of things is basically saying, hey, that's disrespectful to what I've been doing in this business and what I've been doing since I got called up. So no, it's not all about you. Your thoughts on this segment, because they tore it down. They absolutely tore it down.
I mean, to be honest with you, I think it's interesting because what would it have been like if EO Sky had just been called up on her own without being part of Damage Control? Would she have been as impactful? Would she have won the the WWE Championship? Would that have happened? Who knows? But the whole story was basically all around Bailey, and Bailey was basically just giving the keys to the kingdom. Just basically helping everybody out. So now EOs are like, oh, you used us, you used me. But then at the same time, like it kind of makes it seem like if EO was the challenger and Bailey was the champion, a little bit of a psychology behind Becky Lynch versus Asuka. Kind of like where the champion has to beat the challenger in order to get some kind of personal feat, like that kind of thing. And that's where it felt like, oh, I have to beat you once and for all to prove that I'm better than you. I always was, type of thing. And then Bailey, if she beats her, then it's like, you ain't never been nothing. I'm the horsewoman, type of thing. So like, it was interesting because, I feel like the heat going into this has been a little rushed and lackluster. So this made it a little bit more interesting. But like, and I'm probably just saying this because I'm old. This has got to be the most predictable match on the card. So because of that, and I think that Bayley realizes that personally because she's such a big fan. I think that these two are going to knock it out of the park. I wouldn't be surprised if these two steal the show because now the build is not hype, but these two can put on a show. Like, listen, Bayley had a phenomenal performance in the Royal Rumble. Io Sky jumps off of cages with trash cans on her. These two are going to put on something amazing. So I'm just excited for the match. Even though like I can kind of tell the finish, I'm excited for the match.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think it's because even I think that the fact that it is going to be a slept on match. I think that it has for whatever night that it's on, it does have the potential to probably be I think the story has one of the most intriguing stories on the WrestleMania card. And that Bayley's going to shine at Mania. Like she just has to because all of her counterparts in the Four Horsewomen have shined at Mania. And it's time for Bayley to get her Mania moment.
Facts.
Moving on, before we keep this show going, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we get back, we're going to talk about this scene here with the LWO versus Legado del Fantasma, and then the inclusion of Dom getting into this, and the addition to the LWO in Dragon Lee. And the executive consultant has something to say about that. So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all stay tuned. Here's something from the mic.
Previously on the Mike Knox Show.
If the beats don't align, it don't make sense. It don't make dollars. But in today's world, it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to make dollars. And y'all have trap music and y'all have pole music and have all the other shit that don't make sense. As long as the beat go, y'all go with it. Okay? But in my time, in my day, and what they teach you, it's supposed to go together, right? So when you look at this, you just go, hey, whatever, Rock. It was funny. Then you got Cody Crybabies all in the backstage. And why do you have Cody Crybabies? I'll tell you why you have Cody Crybabies. Because that man, Cody Rhodes, was sitting back here and he was crying.
You can call me a hater. As soon as you don't agree with something, you a hater no matter what. You can't have no opinion no more. So let me preemptively say, you can call me a hater, but it sticks in my craw people that get ahead without knowing what the hell they're doing. Now, you can say whatever you want to say, but I have far more respect for people that have learned and educated themselves to be in a space like this. That if you call yourself a journalist, if that's what you call yourself, I respect the person more that has actually got formal training. That's just me personally. I don't put it like this. If there was a science exhibit, or like, let's say like NASA was doing a podcast, bro, I'm not going to hop up with a microphone and start talking about the National Aeronautics Space Administration. I ain't going to do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Mike Knox Show. Very, very good interview with Evan Mack, who is definitely out here doing his thing. He's climbing the ranks in this wrestling journalism thing. He definitely popped off with the Sasha Banks exclusive before anybody else could. And then all of a sudden, everybody's getting Sasha Banks. But he was the first one before everybody else with this. Sasha Banks. Mercedes Bonet. Let's not disrespect WWE like that. Now, going on to this segment that I was talking about before the break. And EC has something that he would like to say in reference to this. So I'm curious because I have not seen this. He just uploaded it. Let's take a look.
You see this? This is not how you do business. This is not how you put over somebody else who's stealing your spot at WrestleMania. but take notes from Carlito. This is how you give up your spot and do business for a match at WrestleMania.
Thoughts on
Facts.
that? Because you agree with
Facts.
EC that he's
Facts.
given up his spot.
No, because at the moment I thought it was going to be Carlito. I'm sorry.
Which is really weird because I would assume that it was going to be Carlito as well.
Yes, and the way they set that
Carlito
up was
seems to
beautiful because I assumed the same.
I know Carlito. He seems to definitely be happy with his spot here in WWE right now. But I don't know if I don't know if he's here to put that exclamation point on the back half of his career, or if he's just here to put over younger talent, which is fine either way. But I would think that he would want to. He's had a stellar WWE career, right? But his career outside of WWE has been it's been a little bit more. EC, we already played your video.
He's all about.
We just did. It was 13 seconds. It wasn't very long,
Facts.
EC, but we did play your video on this. I think that the inclusion of Dom should have kept Carlito in this. But I get it because Dom has had his issues with Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee has had his issues with Santos Escobar. And Carlito's issues don't run as deep as Dragon Lee's with these other two gentlemen because Carlito doesn't celebrate the Lucha Libre mask like these three gentlemen do. So it's a little bit it's a little bit different. The colognes were good. They're just as they're just as up there in Lucha Libre as the Mysterios. It just so happens that the Mysterios is top notch. It's just what it is. The Colognes was good. Cologne was good, but when you talk about Mysterio and the mask, bro. Yeah, it's a whole other level. Jeffrey, you are right. The fans did chant Carlito, which is crazy. That I'm feeling like that look that Carlito gave. Maybe Carlito is fed up with this. Leon, thank you for stopping by.
Like he's gonna turn?
I think so. It may be me just reaching, but I didn't like the look that he gave. The look that he gave was kind of, all right. Shout out to you, Leon. So do you think that this match will be better than Final Testament versus the Pride? I'm going to say yes, because there's more. It's been brewing since October, and there's been moving pieces, shifting pieces. We think that they're done, then they're not done. This absolutely should be able to take a better match approach than Final Testament versus Lashley and the Prophets. So you do have a great point there, Leon. And yes, Zelina was looking like
she always is.
A femme fatale out there, boy. I'm telling you, she was about to play Nina from Tekken. All she needed was a gun.
Shout out to Selena Vega. I love Selena Vega because she's from Queens. Shout out to Selena Vega, Queens in the house. You heard? I love it. But look, when it comes to these people, if Carlito turns and then joins Legado del Fantasma, then that kind of makes sense because it gives him a heel run. I don't like Rey Mysterio doesn't need to win this match.
No.
And if he doesn't win this match, it puts over Dom as a heel. Like he beat Dom last year. So if Dom beats him this year, it kind of makes sense. He's already a Hall of Famer, blah, 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 all of this. Dragon Lee, he doesn't necessarily need to win this match either. So if this ends up being something where Carlito screws them over and then Carlito because look, he came in at the right time with the big Puerto Rican pop at Backlash last year. And you know, he's basically just been around saying LWO, this and that. But like, because the thing is, you know, it's a niche market, right? Not the Brits aren't gonna buy LWO shirts, right? But everybody in Puerto Rico, everybody in the West Coast and in the South, and like they're gonna buy them. All the Latinos are gonna buy them, but that's gonna go to a certain point. So you know, I definitely see like, you know, that tag match. I see them losing that tag match. And if there's another LWO versus Legado del Fantasma match, like on the side, I see LWO winning that match. If that makes sense. Like they'll probably do it, you know, like a pre-show thing or something like that, or maybe something on SmackDown next week. You know, I got a feeling that's how they'll split that up. Because the way that they ended that segment was with the two ladies staring each other down. So even if they do something like that, where they do like a mixed tag or something with, or even if these two just fight each other, right? As far as like representations of their factions. But I certainly don't think that this battle right here is going to end at Mania. I got a feeling it's going to continue. And I got a feeling that Carlito's going to join Legado del Fantasma. Because that look really did say a lot.
Yeah, I like that reasoning for that, and I'm absolutely ready because that it was all in those subtle things, and the thing about when you're on the road to WrestleMania, it's always those little subtle things, and we as wrestling fans, if we say we love long-term storytelling, then we have to be invested in the details. And that's the main thing about long-term storytelling is the details, is the subtle things, is the verbiage that they're using in promos. All of those things matter. And I do think that Legado del Fantasma versus LWO surprisingly is one of the best stories going into Mania because of its complex layers. And if anytime you can continue to have complex layers and you make it make sense, and it's in WWE is doing a good job of making it make sense in a weekly basis. So before
wait a minute. I just want to end with this. The other reason why I think they chose Dragon Lee is because this is gonna have more flips than Will Ospreay versus Ricochet. Like this is gonna be a flip flop nation. Like this is gonna be jumping and all over the place. It's gonna feel like Cero Miedo. Straight up. Shout out to those guys because this is gonna be jumping all over the place. I'm telling you, like that's why Dragon Lee is in there. Carlito can't do all of that anymore.
No,
he just can't. You know what I mean? So Dragon Lee is gonna be jumping around with all those guys.
Leon, you are. I agree with you, but I disagree with you. I think Santos has got it. He is it, right? The
Del Rio got the look, but he had no mic skills.
Yeah, the comparison to Del Rio, I think a better comparison to Del Rio would be Andrade. I think Andrade's got the size, he's got the technicality, he can give you a little bit of everything, but his mic skills just aren't it. And I think Del Rio's mic skills are a little bit better than what people give it full credit for, but it's more so when Del Rio, not when he is the chaser, when he's the chasee, is when he pretty much shines. But before we get this match, WWE had these ladies had brawled out. And so we're going to get these ladies next week before Mania. The beautiful, Lord have mercy, both of those ladies, beautiful. Selena,
but here's the truth, though. Here's the truth, though, bro. Out of the entire LWO, Selena Vega got the best mic skills.
Yeah.
Out of everybody, out of this entire Latino group, she got the best mic skills. But why is that? Because she's from Queens.
She's been doing it. She's always been a talker.
Yeah, bro. She's
always
from
been
Queens.
A talker. She can sell you anything. She can sell you anything. And
but my point is that she's from Queens. She's a chameleon. She knows how to talk in many different dialects. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these guys, they can't lose their accent. Rey Mysterio was never known for his mic skills ever.
Yeah, and she can switch that shit quick, yo. She can switch that shit quick.
Exactly, bro.
But
Queens in the house.
not to be outshadowed, Elektra Lopez also she has good mic skills as well.
Yes.
So she's been a good mouthpiece for Legado del Fantasma in the first iteration before it got replaced by Zelina. So that beef of that has always been there, and I think that with those two ladies has been the best part of Legado del Fantasma versus LWO in its beginning stages. But going on after that brawl, we got New Catch Republic versus Angel Garza and Humberto. I liked it. I'm really digging New Catch Republic. At first, I just thought they were, very, I don't want to say gimmicky, but I guess that's kind of the word because of their catch wrestling style. I mean, their name is New Catch Republic, for God's sake. But it's more than that with those gentlemen. And I think that the fans are really liking these guys. They're hard, tough-nosed, undersized guys that just keep fighting. And there's always something to be said when you're undersized.
You know what? One thing that I learned from Better Than You, Bebe, is that there is a market for that cheesy stuff. The double clothesline and the kangaroo kick, I'm just using them as a reference, but New Catch Republic is really, really catering to the Brits. The Brits and the people from that part of the world. You know what I mean? Like these guys are very representative of NXT UK. And they're definitely like remember how Finley was the thing, like the Irish thing back in the day? They're very much that, there's always one. And these guys definitely fit that billing really well. So when they do like that show in Germany or whenever they do like a European tour, I'm certain they're going to get a huge pop. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if they win this thing. You know what I mean? I really wouldn't be surprised. I think certain people will pop for it because they're definitely getting up there, bro. Especially as small as they are. Because Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate are small guys, like so they definitely have that Bret Hart effect.
But people love the moniker of the bruiserweight, right? Like people love the bruiserweight. I just thought that the first time I seen him, he literally when he was NXT UK champion, it was something different. He's coming to the ring with the damn belt in his mouth, like those things is heavy. Like a real belt is heavy.
And here's the thing about that, like, look, I'll still never forget it. He had one of the best matches I've ever seen against Walter, right? And Steve
goated.
He had one of the best matches I've seen against Walter, aka Gunther. And
Steve, I know you're trolling, Steve.
And then, one thing that makes me sad is that I feel like in NXT UK, Pete Dunne was very, very impactful. Like the whole thing with the fingers and all of that, like they made this guy look scary, bro. Like real scary. As small as he is and all of that, like he had just amazing matches and looked scary. And I know that Triple H is probably trying to get back to that somehow. So I think that he's getting successful. If they put the straps on them, I wouldn't be upset by it, to tell you the truth. We'll see. But yeah, I'm happy. I was happy with the results of this match because unfortunately, I like the other two. I think they're great wrestlers, but they're jobbers at this point.
Steve is definitely on his troll shit because there's no way you cannot tell them apart. Leon, so I am of the ilk that I think that somehow, some way, I'm thinking these tag titles get split at Mania. And the way that they get split is one team is going to grab a Raw belt, one team is going to grab a SmackDown belt. And I think that's a perfect way that you can easily just do it without any kind of conflict. You can probably have the GMs, meet and sort it out. Boom, titles, they're separated. Because they're trying to build up this tag division, and they're also building they're building tag team stars right now, and tag team wrestling has been something that Vince McMahon kind of soured on a little. And you could tell in a different creative shift, the emphasis that is getting put on tag team wrestling. So I'm okay with it. If that happens, that's just my logic. I think that's the easiest way that you could split those tag titles, because they definitely need to be split at this point. It's too many. They're showcasing too many tag teams right now, and too many good tag teams for them to not have a belt. But after that match, we got Judgment Day pretty much asking Dom what happened. Why didn't you tell us anything? What was going on? And they even looked at Rhea. They looked at Rhea like, you didn't even know this? So for once, there's something that mommy does not know about Dom. And so that was the surprising statement backstage, because I understand their frustration, but at the same time, Judgment Day, they forced Dom's hand in his issues with his father. So why would he not still?
Yeah, but wait,
have those issues?
Let's not forget, who did he lose the North American Championship to?
Dragon Lee.
Exactly. So, he's probably still feeling a way about that. Mommy still has a belt. Everybody else in Judgment Day still has belts. Except
JD
for
hasn't got one. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he still hasn't earned one. But everybody in Judgment Day has earned a belt. So Dom is feeling a way like, yo, I gotta. And look, as soon as he came back, because I wanted to do it for you, mommy, because this mommy, da. She held on to her belt. Everybody else got belts. He ain't got no belt. He trying to get something. He's trying to handle this boy. And it's the drama with his father. That didn't go away. The main reason why, listen, in my opinion, Rey Mysterio is so giving. Like, what he's done for his son is amazing. It's better than what any father in the wrestling business has done. I mean, outside of TheRock giving his daughter his GM spot, but still, like, you know what I mean? But like, I don't think I've ever seen. I don't think I can ever remember anybody getting so much heat and not being able to talk. And that, like, literally being part of your thing. Like, I don't think Dominic Mysterio could ever be a face as long as he lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he got booed at his wedding type shit. Like, it's part of his stick. So, and I think it's great because now he has his own thing. He's not just part of the Mysterios or a Rey Mysterio's son. Just the whole thing where they conflict. He really taught his son the business, and I got a feeling that Dom Mysterio is going to go really far, right? So as far as this goes, it might be foreshadowing, or it might just be a teaser to mess things up a little bit, because I feel like they do that with the Judgment Day. Sometimes they show a little bit of conflict and then forget about it. They've done that a little bit with the power struggle between Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley type of thing, but I personally like how Rhea Ripley is the leader of men. And personally, I would like to see Selena Vega be the leader of LWO.
That's interesting.
She
does,
fucking,
but
go against Rhea Ripley in that aspect. But that's a story for another day. But like,
the problem with that is the fact that she just doesn't wrestle enough, and there's people that don't take her seriously, but I don't know. It's just, I like her. I wish that they would give her that push. But it doesn't happen.
If she was still queen, If she was still Queen Zelina, you know what I mean? She could
I
have
think that kind of
easily.
fell a little flat.
It did fall flat because people don't care about the King of the Ring anymore.
They don't. It's not a big deal anymore.
That's
It's
the thing.
definitely
Like
not a big deal anymore.
it was back in the day when like Stone Cold and Bret Hart and Triple H won it, but now nobody gives a shit. So like, you know what I mean?
Listen,
like, look what happened. Like, look at what happened with Xavier Woods, and he made it a good time. I'm not gonna lie.
He did, but that was one of those things. That was one of those things where he spoke highly of the King of the Ring. It's his favorite event ever, and he was making that up, down, down money, that New Day money, and he's one of those cash cows that Vince could not deny. So of course, give it to him. Like, who thinks that Xavier's going to be a world champion? Nobody thinks that, but he's a good wrestler. Nobody thinks he's going to be a world champion. So give him King of the Ring. That's what he wants. Give him King of the Ring. So I think not to forget what else has happened on SmackDown, even though I kind of did, but one of the best segments, heel AJ. We're going to get into heel AJ and the main event that everybody else was speaking about and kept reposting the same picture of Mira over and over. Mira, it's the same shit. The same picture, and all y'all posting. I'm going to tell y'all, I have an unpopular opinion about everybody getting excited about WWE finally putting 3 black people together on a team. And you're not going to like it. Stay tuned. This is the SmackDown review show.
Real quick, I'm going to read this. Stacks is a fraud wearing Louis Vuitton.
Okay, listen, Jeff. If you're gonna talk shit about Stacks, at least spell the name of the brand right. It's Louis Vuitton with a U, not an I. Number 1, and number 2. Not every mafioso needs to wear Italian anything. You can wear French. You can wear Spanish. You can wear Asian. You can wear any type of brand from other places. It doesn't have to be just Italian. Yes, they're acting as stereotypical Italian mafia people.
I'm sorry.
Every mafia person out there in the world only wears Italian name brand designers. No, they wear other stuff too.
I'm sorry, I'm trying not to laugh so hard, but this was great. Like, I like how like you saw this comment and you immediately was like, "Look, okay, all right."
If you're gonna insult somebody with something, at least spell it right. And that is not how you spell Louis Vuitton, because Louis Vuitton is with a U, not an I.
I'm glad that you see. I would have never saw the difference here. And here it was, you immediately said, no, get that out of here, because that's wrong.
Loving fashion, I know a thing or two.
Shout out to the NXT crew. Bad Guy Jack, Wrestling Doll. Always one of the most fun shows here on Unpopular Review. But right now, you guys are watching the fastest rising show on UPR Review, and that is the SmackDown Review Show, aka the SmackDown Penitentiary. You are now on lockdown, talking SmackDown with us. Now, before we got to the break, I wanted to say this is one of the most surprising and entertaining. We're talking about fastest rising shows. This is one of the most fastest rising storylines that I now care about, and that is due to the testament of AJ's his heel work. AJ's heel work is underrated as hell.
Underrated? What are you talking about? He got a spot with Undertaker.
Underrated.
What do you mean, bro? What are you talking about? He got a spot with Undertaker.
What I mean is AJ has been a fan favorite for a better part of his career. The parts that people do not give him credit for is his heels, is his heel work. His lone wolf gimmick in TNA when he took the belt to New Japan. He turned his back basically on the whole roster, TNA, whole roster, and Dixie Carter. Then his beat up John Cena gimmick that showcased him along with the OC when they actually were a formidable threat. And then to now, to the Boneyard. Leading up to the Boneyard match, that was great heel work as well. And then now, at first, I didn't like this AJ when he came back, long trench coat jacket, whatever, wrestling in black jeans, everything black. But I have got to say that credit to LA Knight bringing this out of AJ, and credit to AJ for bringing what he's bringing out in LA Knight. We're getting to see a different side of LA Knight that I could possibly pull the reins back on and stop criticizing him so much, because I do think that all he is a catchphrase. Even in Impact, he was still doing the same thing. It was just Eli Drake. So I mean, that's it, right? But AJ is going off in the ring. He's paranoid as hell. Yeah. He's paranoid as hell, and he's basically pulling random people that look like they're kind of hidden in the crowd, and he's missing on all of them. And the fact that that LA Knight is literally right there, right beside him, with this stupid wig on that looks like he should be an American Pie, and he takes it off with the glasses, and they begin to start brawling. I love this segment. I'm not even gonna lie. It was one of the high spots for me, and there wasn't many low spots in the SmackDown show. I agree with you, Leon. It was a really good SmackDown show. It was very evenly paced, right? It's and whenever you can have a 2-hour show, and I can go, damn, the main event is already, and it's literally 25 minutes left in the show. I think you had a good pace of a show, and that's all you can ask for. Nothing felt rushed, nothing felt out of place. I thought the placement of segments was really good as well. You're right, AJ, big beard, big muscle AJ, big body AJ. Your thoughts on this segment and we with Mania? How are you feeling about this match on the card?
Well, at first I felt like it was filler, so clearly these guys have chemistry. And, there's certainly, for lack of a better phrase, they're turning shit into sugar.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, AJ Styles, in my opinion, is a much better heel than he is a face. I think that as a face, AJ Styles has always really just been captivating in the ring. And that is a testament to his TNA days, where he just had people going, oh shit, I can't believe he did that. I can't believe he flipped off of them and did all of this. That's not the AJ Styles we have anymore. So the AJ Styles that we have now is still phenomenal, but he's older. So my point is, he's a much better actor now than he was before. And he's not going to do the same moves that he did before. So as far as being the heel, I think he's doing an amazing job, and he's doing a really good job as far as getting. He's a perfect person to keep LA Knight hot, because I think that's what they're doing. I think they're just doing everything in their power to keep LA Knight hot, keep him in the card, keep him hot, keep the shirt selling, keep everybody going LA Knight, without putting a strap on them or anything like that. Because I think the last time we saw him with a strap was when he was the $1 Million champion, which is interesting in my opinion, because the guy is money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be an entertaining match. So we'll see what happens. But I think that what they pulled together was hilarious more than anything else. You know what I mean?
They are definitely going to have. It's definitely looking like they have been having the most entertaining segments, and the most meaningful segments outside of the main events. For Mania. So I'm loving everything that they're doing. Now we're going to get into the main event. What everybody here came to see, came to talk about, came to discuss. Bianca versus King Coda. Oh man. I love me some King Coda, but I also love me some Bianca Belair. She's like a cute little Mighty Mouse.
Now, I'll tell you one thing I appreciate about this match was the segment prior to the match.
I'm glad you. Oh, I'm so. I just literally grabbed the Paul Heyman picture. Thank you. I am tripping. We did this with with Jimmy Uso too. Oh my god, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Let me grab that really quick. But go ahead and speak on what we heard from the wise man and the reason why Cody got his ass whipped on Monday Night Raw like a government mule.
No, it was by orders of the tribal chief. By the orders of the tribal chiefs, basically insinuating that Roman Reigns is the boss. Roman Reigns told the final boss what to do. So I feel like that's just a big confusion. Like, just messing with everybody's head. And then
he's absolutely lying.
Yeah, totally. You know what I mean? But yeah, I felt like that whole thing was interesting. And then Jimmy Uso, is basically was just setting up the next week's match between Solo and Jay, which is going to be interesting. You know what I mean? Like, it's two brothers versus brothers matches type shit. So that should be interesting. But yeah, man, I found that to be incredible. Because now they kind of making everybody think like, wait a minute, who's the boss? Is it TheRock? Is it Roman Reigns? Is it this? Is it that? Why? And the reason why they did that is because TheRock's getting all the shine. People are already talking about how TheRock is outshining Roman Reigns in this whole thing, right? But TheRock is the biggest star. What are you gonna do?
I get that, and the reason why I don't have Cody winning at Mania is because his focus is off. His focus is off. His focus has not been on Cody Rhodes, and I think that this can be spun as a tactic from the judge, from the bloodline, to say that, yeah, you lost because you weren't focused. You're stupid. You don't get it. You don't understand what's going on right now. That's what Roman's going to tell him. And he's going to lose again.
Look,
but for
this,
here's the thing.
I have Roman losing. I definitely have Roman losing. I got a feeling it's going to be all hands on deck, regardless of what happens. Yeah, bro. I don't see Roman Reigns leaving WrestleMania 40 with that championship. I really don't. If I'm wrong, great, but I really don't. I really don't. Not at this point.
I just think they're too close to Hogan.
Is the perfect time to pull this.
I think they're too close to Hogan right now.
And just like I was alluding, I understand all of that, but the thing is that you got to remember, like, there's a huge part of the fan base that doesn't care about that. And I hate to say it that way, but there's a huge part of the fan base that he's still a drawer. And I really don't think that people care about that large amount of people who care about Roman breaking his title and breaking his record.
People may not, but the company does.
Great, but like, I really don't think it's. Well, he could be right. You know what I mean? He definitely could be right, because the thing is that. No, you're right, but then there's certain records that are never going to be updated.
Oh yeah, Bruno's is not. He's never going.
The beating the Honky Tonk Man, yeah, that was doable. Yeah, so like, they're not going to get that number 1 spot. To get that number 4 spot or that number 3 spot, okay, great. You know what I mean? But like, that's why I don't think it's really that big of a deal. Like, look, Gunther has that number 1 spot because that was feasible, But then at the same time, you could break it down because Roman hasn't even had 100 matches in this entire time. You know what I mean? So like, there's always going to be ways to debate this whole thing, because he can pass the number of days, but he's never going to have the same number of matches that Hogan had in that number of days, or anybody else.
But WWE never acknowledges the number of matches. They always do the number of days.
Yeah, but all of that can change in the future as well, But the thing is that
it's the fans that do that shit. It's the fans that turn it into how many matches.
Look, but in my opinion, and mind you, I came into wrestling as a Hulkamaniac, but I've never seen somebody be as impactful as Roman Reigns. In my opinion, more than that's a testament to Paul Heyman, the guy that's on
Rock and Austin and Cena, more than those guys.
Yeah, no, because the thing. Yeah, why? Because the system's in place here, bro. We don't have all of these clips on YouTube. We don't have the ability. We didn't have the ability to consume this as much as we do now. So because of that, and for Roman to go this long, with the short attention span that we have now to like things, yeah, man, this is one of the greatest runs I've ever seen, and the one that's going to be remembered, at least the one that's going to be remembered the most for this century, because Rock, Austin, Hogan, that's all last century, and you know, the only person that can compare right now to what Roman is doing now is John Cena, but John Cena didn't have a consecutive. He has 17. 16 title runs. You know what I mean? Because he kept dropping the belt and da-da-da. But if they would have just booked Cena to keep the belt, then what? You know what I'm saying? So like, it really all depends on your perspective and what was great. Because I don't think anybody's ever gonna get a Cena run. I'll never see that happening again. Where you just, you know what I mean, doing all of this stuff. You know, I don't. Where you have 3 WrestleManias where it's John Cena and Triple H. Come on now, like. I don't see that happening again, and I certainly, and something like this might happen again with Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes. But I certainly, if Cody Rhodes gets that belt, I don't see him holding it for several years either. So, it's really all. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm sorry because
You're good. So we get Paul basically saying that Roman ordered the hit. And the key phrase of this promo was by order of the tribal chief. Each one of them said it. Paul, Jimmy, Solo, by order of the tribal chief. So they're trying to instill it into your mind that, hey, Rock doesn't do what Rock wants to do. It was Roman Reigns who did it. But all right, so we're talking about subtle things. In that beatdown, right, as Cody is fighting off Jimmy and Solo, right, in the backstage, and before he gets to the table, right, and Rock comes to the save, where the hell was Jimmy and Solo then, right? Because if that was the case, if Roman ordered the hit and Solo and Jimmy started the hit, Rock finished it, but they had no interaction. It was like he was there just to be there, right? Like Jimmy and Solo were there just to be there. It wasn't, because as soon as Rock comes over, Solo's gone. Like, what you would probably imagine that you're going to beat him down even more. So I'm thinking like maybe they didn't know that Rock was going to be there. I don't think they knew that Rock was going to be there. And
but wait a minute,
they kind of loosened the reins when Rock was Rock, because Rock's he's never interacted with anybody else from the bloodline. Like, he's never interacted with anybody. So I just think that Paul Heyman's playing dirty politician with this right now and trying to do some damage control per se, because it's, perception is that Rock is moving the way that he wants. And then, Paul tells Roman, hey, don't worry about it. I'll tell everybody that it was you. So that could be something that they are with the power struggle of what actually happens between Rock and Roman. But now, because I completely forgot about that segment, so thank you for reminding me.
Wait a minute though. The other segment that happened before this match between Naomi and Bianca Belair.
Oh, hold on. Well, I got that for the end of the graphics, but we're about to get into that. So on the back half of this. So King Coda, Chris, absolutely no King Coda slander at all. That's what we're not going to do here in the SmackDown Penitentiary. We not going to give no King Coda slander. I will say,
that's Chris's love language, to just hate on whatever you like. That's how.
That's why we call it. His new name is Executive Contradiction. That's it.
Yeah, word out. Like, if you like blue, he like red.
Yeah, yeah. So you- so we always want to make sure the executive consultant gets his hate. We're gonna dedicate a spot for you, right in the SmackDown Penitentiary, so you can put all your hate on display for everybody to realize that all you do is hate, Chris. But moving on to this match. This match was actually it was a quick match, but I don't think that this was never about the match. This was, basically put here to give us Jade for the save. More so than anything. This didn't feel like it was an actual match. It felt more like a fight. And shout out to King Coda because she was using every dirty trick in the book. And then as soon as Bianca hits King Coda with the KOD, Asuka and Kairi Sane to run down and attack right away. Naomi shows up in a banging bodysuit, and she gets beat down. And then we get Jade Cargill coming down. Oh gosh,
that was ill.
So the bicycle kick that she hit on Asuka, like it tore her insides up. Like it tore her insides up because she was stiff with it. And I'm not saying that she was stiff with it in a sense of there was no giving it. It was stiff, like it was a powerful kick. And Asuka sold it very, very well. Asuka can handle anything anybody gives to her. She's a constant professional. So she took that like a boss. And that was absolutely fine in that spot. She hits and then hits this pose. She must thought she was still in AEW, but gosh, look at the yamage. Look at the yamage. My gosh. They have something here. They definitely have something here. And I think that this was a perfect way, but we saw this coming. We saw this coming to set up for Jade Cargill's official in-ring debut, because we don't count Royal Rumble as an official wrestling match, in which we called this weeks ago here at a SmackDown Penitentiary. We've been called it. Don't know what y'all was on, but yeah, we called this. And we get these lovely shots of these women, right? And this is strategically placed, right? Bianca on the side, Naomi on the side. These women have had their time, and Jade's in the middle because the focus is definitely on her, right? The focus is her. She is the main attraction, and she's treated like an attraction. No matter how good Bianca is, no matter how good Naomi is, and all of these other ladies, a Charlotte, a Becky, a Rhea, they aren't main attractions, right? They're not main attractions. They're not. Yes, they go out and do, media in the sense they do a lot of media, especially Bianca. She does a whole bunch of media. WWE loves her. Anytime they can do, they can put you in the ring, and then the next day you can go and ring a bell for a TKO during the stock exchange. You're a big deal, right? But Jade is a different main attraction. She has a look that is completely separate from Bianca, but although Bianca has a look that is very separate from a Naomi, a Rhea, right? Like similar statures, but still they're different. And then we get this right here. Now, I said something before the break about my take on this right here. And wrestling fans are getting super, oh God. Jeffrey, I see you say the Ebony Avengers, right? Let's pump the brakes really quick. I am going to say something, and y'all are not going to like me for this. Let's stop acting like this is the first time we've seen black people link up. Let's stop. Why y'all sitting out here getting bent down? Like y'all is really busting nuts on y'all pants, right? Like this is the first time we seen black people align themselves with each other. Like y'all don't do this. Like, come on, let's stop. Let's stop it. Like,
no, you know,
Jade.
What I don't understand. What I don't understand is that there's a sense of community, and that has to be turned down.
Why? Down.
Why is it that when we're coming together? Why? You know what I mean? So the thing is that this Naomi Ben had her shine. Bianca Ben had her shine. One thing that I appreciated about this whole thing was Naomi's start. She had EST in the back of her head. What is that doing? She's being you know what Naomi's doing right now? She's being
like, why is Naomi dick riding? Like, I don't understand that. You're a former SmackDown champion.
Because she's being natty. You know why she's doing that? No, but exactly. But she's dick riding Bianca because she's helping her out. Look at her. She's sitting there acting like a therapist. She's sitting there, I know this is that. She's literally like, helping her out. Like Taylor treating her. You know how she's treating her? Like a little sister. She's treating her like a little sister because that's what she does. You know what I mean? If you ever see Naomi, because in my opinion, I feel like it should have been Naomi Bianca versus the Kabuki Warriors for the tag team championships, and it should have been Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax. Nia Jax, like in a meat match. You feel what I'm saying? In a meat strong match. That's what I think should have happened. But they're doing the whole group thing, and in my opinion, I think that Bianca and Naomi are going to carry this match. I think that Jade Cargill is being put in the match because of the hype, because of her name recognition and all of that, and they're just going to hype up the whole thing. But in the reality, I have a feeling that, they're literally just pulling the trigger on her because it's Mania, but I don't think they trust her fully yet. I think they would have put her in a match by herself if they did trust her fully yet, but I got a feeling that everybody else is going to carry this match. And we'll see. We'll see what they do. Like, she's definitely going to do something impactful, but I got a feeling that they're going to do, and look, already, they did everything in their power to make her look super strong. She looks really, really strong.
I think Bianca,
you know what I mean?
I think Bianca gets the cleanup duty. I think Bianca's going to get the cleanup duty. I mean, not
probably.
Bianca. Jade is going to get the cleanup. Jade is going to get the cleanup duty and get the pin. I think Jade gets the cleanup duty and gets the pin. They'll probably isolate her.
That makes sense.
They'll probably isolate her most of the match, so she doesn't have to do much. And then she'll come in, clean up, grab the pin, and she'll hit that luscious pin that she hit. I guess she forgot that she wasn't in an actual match because she literally sat there and the crowd counted 1, 2, 3.
I mean, they just that's foreshadowing. You know what I mean? But like, because of the way that they set this up. Because like I said before, I would much rather see Jade Cargill in a singles match. Right, but this is straight, carrying, and Naomi is Natalia. She's straight Mama Bear, and Bianca is the big sister, straight up. And you know what I mean? They're gonna carry Jade. They're gonna help Jade, and they have this whole thing about pretty much helping each other. That's why I said before, like I like how, like you said, how Naomi was dick riding Bianca. But at the same time, like Naomi is a funkadactyl. Okay, Naomi's been around for a long time. She doesn't need a strap. She had a glowing strap. You know what I'm saying? Like she's there and she pops, but she's helping everybody out, and I love it.
I'm okay with it. Again, Naomi's return was treated like a big deal, and she's just dick riding. I don't like it. I didn't like it at all. I did not like it at all. I'm going to be honest. I did not like it at all.
Let's be honest here, though. Naomi never had mic skills. She never did.
Naomi never did have mic skills. But
even when she was in Team Bad.
even when that was a terrible stable. I don't know why everybody keeps referring to that. That was terrible.
I mean, yo,
They
the
didn't
best
win
part
nothing.
of Team Bad was
Was the
Naomi's
handshake.
music. No, it was her music. I'm a man.
But she kept that.
And
She
she
kept
did
that for
because
like 8
that
years.
was
So like,
the best part. That was the best part of Team Bad.
listen. I am going to be that person. I'm going to be. I like a lot of things, but I don't like what you guys bust nuts over. And this is not that cool to me. For me, it's not that cool. Because at the end of the day, this is just to show Jade Cargill. And then what happens? She gonna go away for some more months and then come back. What, SummerSlam? Right? And Naomi was a big deal. Now all of a sudden she's putting another woman's initials in her freaking hair. Come on, man. No, man. She's jobbing, man. This is trash.
When has Naomi not been jobbing? No offense, but come on, bro. She's Natalia. She's Dolph Ziggler. Let's keep it a buck.
I can't get.
When was the last time you see Naomi?
When she
come
left,
on, bro.
Because hold up. When was she not? When was she not jobbing? She left and became a big deal in TNA, right? And then she came back. They put her. They literally made her a big deal in the Rumble, post Rumble, and now like they made her look like she is not a former 2-3 time women's champion. That's my point. That's my point. This doesn't.
No, I see you.
For people that did not like. Yeah, I'm here. Let me cook. I got the ingredients right here. Look, for people that did not like Damage Control, right? For people that didn't like Damage Control week after week, oh, Damage Control sucks. And why? These 3 women would dominate Damage Control. But now you telling me that these 3 women are the underdogs? This is my problem with things like this is you cannot switch the perception of 3 strong black women being the underdog to undersized Japanese women. Make it make sense. This is why I am not on the train for everybody saying, oh, this is going to be great. These motherfuckers would wash them. Every single one of them.
I think that's what's going to happen
compared to these women.
No, but wait. But here's the thing, though.
Is what I don't like. That's why I'm not on board with everybody.
Yo, but the thing is that, like, Jade Cargill coming in is definitely a wash. Like they are gonna wash them. You know what I mean? And I think that's probably the reason. I think Jade Cargill making this a 3-on-3 match is what keeps the Kabuki Warriors as champions. Because if it was any of the other 2 or any mix of these 2, the Kabuki Warriors are getting washed. You know what I mean? Like, even though, Asuka is, you know what I mean? But still, like, this is, no. These girls are gonna this is gonna be like a 5-minute match, if that. Maybe
Chris,
10.
And Chris, let me ask you this, because I was one of those people that were worried that she lost to Tiffy Time, because what did it do for Tiffy Time? Nothing. Tiffy Time didn't need the W. Naomi did. Tiffy Time's not on the card. Tiffy Time wasn't getting anything else. Tiffy Time is getting vignettes. Tiffy Time's getting vignettes. How you give me a vignette for somebody that's not even on the WrestleMania card? She don't need no vignette. Get off my TV screen. Next.
I mean,
listen, Dakota Kai.
But you know what? But they always got to do stuff to the Raw after WrestleMania.
That's true. But Dakota Kai versus any of those 3 women one-on-one, they will overpower her. That's not saying that Dakota Kai is trash. That's not saying that. But you're going to tell me that Tiffy Time, who counts her steps, but y'all saying that, oh, she's got it. She's it because she got some titties and a blonde scalp that she's it. I'm not disrespecting Asuka either, Chris. All I'm saying is this run of Asuka is beneath anything that we know Asuka to be. So therefore, all the people that were saying Damage Control wasn't a big deal, but then all of a sudden now Damage Control is a big deal because you put these 3 beautiful black women there, and then all of a sudden, like, Damage Control is a big deal. I know a lot of y'all did not like Damage Control. A lot of y'all in UPR did not like Damage Control. I've always been on a Damage Control train. Y'all did not, but now all of a sudden, But
here's the thing, though. Not everybody can always be on top, right?
Exactly.
So,
I said that at the beginning of the show.
Look. Owen Hart was the King of Hearts, a 2-time Slammy Award winner. Tag team champion, all of that, you know what I mean? And in the end was pretty much like the jobbing guy for the nation, right? So Asuka Asuka is a 2-time NXT champion. Goldberg is bitching about her being booked the way that he was with an undefeated streak, and still to this day. And she has a great history. But now she's a champion still, but like she's helping everybody else out. The shine ain't on her. You know what I mean? And sometimes you got to trade that off. That's what I was saying before. I'm really happy about what Naomi was doing. Because the thing is, like, you always need a dance partner, and like you gotta help people out. You gotta pick, you know what I mean? And that's certainly what Asuka's doing. But I see what you mean, because Asuka was booked, and another one that I wished was booked a little bit better is Shayna Baszler. But then at the same time, I think that putting Shayna Baszler at GCW is fucking genius. You know what I mean? I think that's
and she can come back and still be look like a big deal.
Exactly.
I think we talked about this last week, but I'm not sure. The rumor of mid-card, a women's mid-card title. Are you for it or not?
Hell yeah,
I'm on board
they
for
need it. Hell yeah. They need it. I feel like they should focus on that before they do the speed thing.
Yeah, and there's going to be a speed championship. And at first, I was thinking that speed is supposed to be something with luchadors or lucha libre, something like that.
I mean, no, not necessarily.
They're talking about people are going to need power as well. So I'm guessing that you're gonna put somebody, dominant in there. I think that'll probably be a good way to get somebody, get them some ring time, and you keep it very quick. And you can probably you can put a giant that doesn't have a lot to offer you for the time being. But if you put him in a 3-minute match, make him look dominant, then you can usher him into the way that you do things on a Raw or a SmackDown. I think that more so you just want them to see the big lights on that stage as opposed to NXT or being in the PC Center.
I think this is them bringing back the Cruiserweight Championship and
205 Live.
Calling it. Yeah, exactly. That's basically, in my opinion, that's what I think this is. And I think that the demographic for that is younger. For example, like the fan base, like the people that really, really like Ricochet and do everything that Ricochet does. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. It's not for Stone Cold fans. Definitely not. And the fact that they're putting it directly to Twitter makes a lot of sense. Because it's something
that Twitter can be the gift and the curse.
No, because it could be that's going to be the pre-show. You see how like they have main event, and it's usually like the pre-show or something, or like 205 Live used to be after SmackDown, and that's pretty much why you went to the 3-hour show. But then everybody would walk out. You know what I'm saying? So like, unless they do it in like a Thunderdome or something like that, it's going to be one of those things where like it's going to be focused on the matches, and the matches are going to be really fast, and it's going to be all this flippity floppity, and the old people fans are not going to really be into it, but all the kids, yeah. And I think this is going to be for all the kids. The kids are going to like the jumpy.
Yeah. About to close out the show, Chris. I know you're trying to get me to walk off my own show, and I'm not going to walk off my own show. I know there's King Coda over and over like this. I'm not going to stand for it. There's not anything I can do virtually right now.
Chris is like one of those people that likes to like poke you in the eye after it hurts.
He's the executive contradiction. We're going to get you some shine here today on the SmackDown Penitentiary every time. Listen, overall, really good SmackDown. I have no gripes about it. I'm going to give this SmackDown a B+. It was, matches were good. The entertainment was good. It progressed storylines, and it got me more intrigued about certain matches with LA Knight, AJ Styles. Seeing what's next for Bobby Lashley, and then we get the cap off moment that basically everybody's talking about. I would really like to see, by the time the weekend is over with, what this segment pops on YouTube as far as views, because I definitely think that it's going there. Listen, G, we gonna get it. I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna set it in my merch store on Streamlabs. We gonna get an executive contradiction shirt for executive consultant. Your final thoughts on SmackDown?
It was a good show. It was definitely a good show. It's a good run towards Mania. There's certain things that they're just trying to put things together. I mean, when it comes to the 3-on-3 match with the women, I certainly wish they would have given it a little bit more build. In my opinion, it feels a little rushed. It feels a little last minute, especially the way you're using the women's tag team championships. I mean, I think that should be defended on the show or around the show somehow, or at least talked about in some way. But then at the same time, the main purpose is to shine around Jade Cargill. So, and that's pretty much like this show was surrounded by Jade Cargill more than anything. Now, the one thing that I wish would have happened for this WrestleMania was a GM battle. I really wish that would have happened. Some type of tim for tat with the GMs, and I felt in the beginning that they were going in that direction, but it looks like they didn't pull the trigger on that.
I think it's still Survivor Series is where it's at for them.
That makes sense.
They're just slow burning it, tit for tat type thing with those guys, and I'm all for it. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get up out of here, there is something for everyone. As you are watching the quickest rising show on UPR, on Monday, you can catch the Mike Knox show at 6 p.m. Then later on that night, you can catch the Monday Night Raw review show immediately after Monday Night Raw. On Tuesdays, you can catch the NXT review show after NXT goes off. And then after AEW Dynamite, you got the Dynamite review show with Vinny and Dan the Man. And then you can come right back here on Saturday. So there is something for everybody. But of course, you guys are here. You guys are here with us on the SmackDown review show. Any last words, Vic, before we sign off here?
Wrestling is fun again.
Wrestling is fun again, courtesy of TheRock. Rock is definitely not single-handedly, but he is a big hand in what we are enjoying now. So, ladies and gentlemen,
that's right.
As always, I want to thank you guys for stopping by here. And as the new moniker goes,
welcome to the SmackDown Penitentiary.